Everyone, welcome, welcome, welcome. There's nobody here yet, but I'll tell you welcome when you come in. It's a thing. So, what am I doing? Everything's good. And I'm telling Ruth Ann that I am live. Say hello to the universe. In text. Alright, so I am going to be working on this piece again. This one is very nice. I do rather enjoy it. It is, I'm liking. I have decided that I don't think I'm going to put the tie defenders in because, one, I don't like the way they look, and two, I would like to sit down and think about redesigning them, and three, I can always put out a new edition at some point in time with the tie defenders, and maybe things will change because of Ahsoka. Who knows? Cheers, espresso. So there's a lovely thing that that I've noticed called Cafe Correcto in Italy, and it's a corrected espresso, which the way that you correct an espresso, which is already quite nearly perfect, is you add alcohol to it, a high proof alcohol usually, and about a half a shot usually. It's quite delightful. Cafe Correcto. So if you're ever in Italy, and you speak enough Italian to remind the guy behind the bar what you're talking about, because it doesn't happen a lot, and you say, I would like a Cafe Correcto, and they'll be like, what? They go, maybe with rum. And they go, Cafe Correcto. Because it's like part of the back sort of log of like the overarching gestalt of Italy. So, but speaking of Italy, and pining for a sponsorship, because these guys right here, if you could see, where are we? Pocket Coffee. They are delightful. They are little it's Italy's gift to the world. So it is, as you might see here as I am unwrapping this, it is a little chocolate thingy, and inside of this, there's sort of a weird wafery thing inside of the chocolate. The bottom chocolate is actually a dark chocolate. The top is a milk chocolate. And then inside is a shot of espresso. Delightful. Fantastic. I love it. All right. In a few minutes, we're going to probably also making a post, officially putting out. Well, I mean, it came out at Emerald City, but I have, for those of you who do not know, finished my. I have to shut this door. I have a heater in here. The heater's not doing the trick. But with the door closed, you see, I can very much be doing the trick. But yeah, what was I saying? Sorry, nobody knows. Just that one person, that phantom person in the background that never says anything. I was like, I'm here, I'm watching you. It's a little creepy. But, like, you know, in a good way. There's that. At first I thought it was me. I thought that, like, maybe I was the guy watching me. Like, somehow the act of being on Twitch included being a viewer as well. All right, espresso done. Now to the arts. All right, guys. Let's see what we have here now. If you were around last night, which probably not, as it was late, and all of you had to get your beauty sleep, I'm sure. Not had to. You're all very beautiful. You don't have to do anything like that. It's just, sometimes it's nice. I'm going to do a little bit of a highlight. Kind of goes down the middle of here. It's not going to be a big one. Again, we're going to kind of give across here, across here, here. I'm going to kind of give that a little bit of a thing there too. Basically, if we can give some impressions of flatness, one of the things that isn't fun about a Star Destroyer is that it's not a huge angle. You know? It's just, ever so slight as far as angles go. Okay. Trying to give some of these kind of things that are going on, as you might imagine. Alright. Okay, so we're going to want this guy to be smaller if we're going to deal with these little areas. Little area over here, and then this one in between. Because remember, there's a relief underneath of this. So basically it goes doot, 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 doot. And I'm trying to keep an eye on it because, well, it's not super. Meh. Alright. This guy. Down the center. Let's see. You can kind of see this one over here a little bit better. Got that little guy there. Now, the big thing is this edge here. So this is kind of a popped up sort of battlement kind of thing. And really want to kind of drive home this portion, because when I first saw it all those weeks ago, when I first started this piece, which, sorry, I wasn't doing things online. Hello, new person! I was not hugely cognizant of what exactly it was. I'm going to do this down the middle here too. Give it a little bit more of a kind of shine in the center bit there. Now, we're going to have some shadow here, so I'm going to start this bit of that a little bit further back. And if I'm not mistaken, this area, I don't know, I guess that area is still, remember,
remember, we want to drive these guys home. And I'm going to kind of bring this up and into here as well. Sort of showing that there's a connective tissue in between, which isn't necessarily part of the model, but it doesn't matter. Now, the nice thing about just doing this ship here is that for the most part, the highlights and shadows are going to be quite nearly identical on the rest of the ship. So while it's going to be a little bit difficult, what we're going to be able to do is just kind of take the highlights and shadows themselves and rasterize them down into like just like an overlay. And then we're going to be able to pop it on top of each of them. And then we'll be able to flatten all of that. We'll get rid of this other stuff, these kind of working copy things that we were dealing with as well. And then we'll just have the overarching stuff. And one of the nice things about this, in doing it this way, is that like we're kind of also driving home that what these things are on the bottom of the ships, all of these symbols, which strictly speaking do not exist within the definitions of these ships. Okay, like Thrawn's ship has the symbol on the bottom, but the other ones do not. I just thought it was something that I could imagine Thrawn inspiring in the others. You know, this idea of like everybody should have the symbol of the Seventh Fleet painted on their ships. I thought about having them painted artistically in different ways across the ships, but again, time constraints and not wanting to to overdo my involvement with these pieces. I love these pieces, but at the same time, really I need to get to painting, and these are things that I've just kind of promised that I was going to do, and I want to keep my promises, in a lot of ways. The shadow layer, incidentally, is going to be the layer that's really going to drive home some of the angles and stuff like that, because there's going to be some of these bits that are going to be flat, whereas and then the rest of the ship kind of goes out at an angle, so you're going to have especially like this landing bay area here. I'm gonna make that landing bay area just a little bit flattened. So, but it's the angle is ever so slight, so we'll just show these shadows down off of the corner of each of the landing bays. That's a little bit more, intense in one way or another, All right, I need to get back in here as well and remove all of this because it is an open landing bay as well, which is going to be a difference between Thrawn's vessel and other vessels, and it's going to be the only major difference between the two. There we go. See that? Okay. Okay, get back in here. Do some little work here. Not too much. Alright, now the big things are going to be coming in here. Let's throw that highlight here. And I believe it comes down here as well. These ones come across like this, and there's another little guy down here. Okay. These aren't huge highlights, but I mean, like every little highlight, counts, because it helps to drive home what it is, you know? Like, these are, you know, gigantic vessels in a lot of ways. Which is why it was just so outrageous in the episode 6 when they introduced the Superstar Destroyer. And that's like another portion of all of the Star Wars mythos that is often kind of like people focus in on the saga and whatnot to a certain extent, but like, man, there's so much more going on. It's such a great property, you know. It's got a lot of detail that they don't really talk about because the people in world wouldn't necessarily talk about it. You know, like nobody mentions that droids are basically slaves and indentured servants and stuff like that. They are, and it's pretty fucking horrifying. So like for me, one of the things that I love about the new Star Wars is that they're beginning to kind of give a bit of a pay. They're paying attention, you know. They're giving a bit of a pay attention. You get what I'm saying? I'm gonna give this, and we're gonna get into a thing here. I apologize, and I hope that it doesn't slow down again. It could just be the overarching size of all of this, but like, it's bad. The slowdown on blending is not great, so I'm going to take it down a step or two. So I'm going to kind of take it slow, one row at a time. All right, we have potentially liftoff. Oh no, no. Ruthann posthumously says hello to everyone. She is in the background doing, you know, other social media related things for the brand, and she sends her love. Well, her, you know, affection, legitimate love towards you. I'm sure she has love towards you, but she's, you know, don't read anything into it is what I'm trying to say. All right, she's a lovely person, and she likes you a lot, but not like that. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe one of you out there, potentially, you know, but who knows? You know, it's one of those things. The point is, I'm making fun. All right. So yeah. So these basically, I think I'm almost at that point where this is going to be done. And see. It is. It's just blending. Oh, that sucks so bad. All right, well, shit. Blending has always been kind of a staple. I don't know what happened in the algorithms and whatnot, but something did. Give this a nice little triangular feel here in the front. Sort of, because I mean, this kind of pops out a little bit further. Yeah, kind of give this idea that what's the tip of the vessel. All right, make this guy a little bit smaller now. Okay. Okay. Oh, did I get down in here? No, I did not. Let's do that. That edge work is kind of important. And also, the edge work here is important. Again, not really a tremendous amount of highlight is necessary down there, just enough to kind of encourage the idea of like I'm gonna give these guys down here a little top up as well. Now that is going to facilitate the ability to line up all of the things. What's going on? What's going on? What's happening? I don't see it live in studio. It's not. It should be on studio. Should be. All right. So shared in stories. Okay, we'll see how that works. See if we can kind of pull people towards the post or towards the stream. But yeah, no, it should be up on studio as well. If it's not, then there's something wrong in the settings. Well, we'll figure that out. It's all if-then stuff, you know what I'm saying? All right, so here we are. So yeah, so I'm reducing this down to about here, a little bit smaller, about there, and then basically across these, I'm gonna give a little bit of an extra drop in, you know, a little bit of extra highlight. You know, and the purpose of this one is, you know, it's a little detail and people will like it, you know, but the real big thing is that in the use of this for lining things up, these guys end up being like little register marks that I can kind of zoom in on and kind of do that micro adjustments and whatnot, so that the highlights and shadows that are on each and every one of them will be a little bit more, you know, nice and whatnot. Get another couple down this way. And as long as they line up, then everything's okay. Because there's very little possibility of these guys lining up and then the rest of it not. Yes. Been a little bit up in the air about this and this little area right here, but you know, again, it's supposed to be an Art Deco representation. It's not supposed to be a technical drawing, you know. Since we're going to be doing a lot more of these, kind of want to start building the community of people who are coming to watch the artwork being done. It's a nice little thing. Keeps me company, you know. It's something I sorely miss in my life recently. And kind of a barrier to my personal growth is this idea of never really been alone, you know. I mean, I guess I'm never really alone. I got ADHD. So many people up here. It's unreal. You know? Which, this is entertaining. Or at least it can be. But sometimes I've just grown accustomed to being able to just talk to people, you know? I mean, one, I was in a relationship and everything was, like just, had a partner and whatnot. And then before that, really, I mean, like, not really even before that, but like even during that time and before it and whatnot, I had a lot of people around, I mean, that were active. I mean, I had my kids and stuff like that. And they've both grown up and moved out now. And, I feel the hit from that, in a lot of ways. It sucks. Okay, let's do a quick save, because I keep on forgetting to do that. I'm going to move this there. I'm going to merge these two copies of shadows. Merge layers. Alright. Okay. Alright. So now that I have that done, I'm going to go back in and I'm going to start the work on the shadows. Okay, well, stories. It's not really drawing people there. Oh. Hi. Whoever you are. Welcome to the stream. We are working on the Chimera. If you have not ever watched Rebels or read the Timothy Zahn books, the Chimera is the flagship of the 7th Fleet, which is Thrawn's fleet, the only non-human in the Emperor's fleet. Ooh, capital ships. Yeah, exactly. Hey, man in a scary mask. Welcome back. Yes. Yeah, no, this is the Chimera and the 7th Fleet. I'm doing it because it's going to probably be relevant very soon. Ahsoka should deal with these guys pretty heavily. Okay, what is being said? Share the Nigel's Odd Facebook post on the Studio Decide. Nice. I say to Ruth Ann. Thank you. But I spelled you wrong because for some reason my phone is auto-correcting, or these fat fingers that I have, which, Ruth Ann, if you're watching, I do have, see, I have a condition, according to that guy in the Czech Republic. There's that. So yeah, that's a funny story. We were at Prague this last year, and there's this kid who clearly is just astounded by the size of my hands. Okay, which I think is hilarious in itself. I mean, yes, I have very large sausage fingery hands and whatnot, which is not ideal for an artist, but like whatever, I make do, and he at one point he couldn't contain himself anymore. And he says, "Okay, I'm just gonna say it." I was like, "Okay, this is gonna be good." He's like, "Do you have a condition?" And I was like, "What?" He goes, "Well, your hands are so big." I was like, no, I don't have a condition, but that's amazing, and yeah. So now that's my big thing. I have a condition, Did you see these things? See, they're just so big. Look how big they are, comparatively speaking. Yes. Although, to be fair, when cyberware comes along and my body starts, breaking down, as bodies will probably be likely to do, I'm gonna replace these hands with some spindly ass motherfuckers. Cause, spindly hands are kind of ideal for the oddest types. So see what I'm doing here? So in here, the highlights that I'm adding to it are sort of showing that plate as being flat, and the highlight goes out a little bit further as the angle goes in, and so as a result, you get a longer shadow around that, and it kind of drives home the idea of this this size dealio, with the angles that are in place. Brain not working, not doing brain things. All right, and yes, but give that a good feel, because that's gonna be an important shadow. Like these guys up here and these guys down here are really doing a lot of heavy lifting. Now, all the rest of them are going to be pretty thing. I mean, like there's going to be one down here that's going to have a little bit more, but not huge amount. But again, it's all going to be kind of driving home things. So yes. All right. Give this a go. Basically, kind of creating these shadows in place in order to I don't know, do the sort of driving things home, This is a big little, round. It's like in Ohio, where I grew up, and I didn't really realize it was much of a thing until I kind of went outside of Ohio and sort of noticed that nobody else was doing this thing that I thought everybody did, which is to say yes, no, like it's like you're saying. I don't know if it's. I actually don't even know what we're saying. We're just kind of affirming that something has been said, and we go, yes, no. You see, the thing is, and so it's like yes, but no, at the same. So it's like maybe, it's a way of sort of highly ambiguously saying maybe, and nobody, not many other people do it. I mean, it occurs on occasion. And again, I'm from Ohio, so a lot of the vernacular that we see in the overarching United States is very, very Ohioan. There's a few things that we do that nobody else does, like when you accidentally hit something, we say "oop," which is "oop," sorry, and that's a tell. You can always tell somebody from this region if they say "oop" whenever they hit you or hit something. Yeah, really, at all. It's pretty intense. Pretty intensely hilarious, actually. All right, gonna do that thing. All right. Hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody has had a happy time in their lives lately. Got a lot of shit going on in the world, so, that sucks. Rise of fascism all over the damn place, as he's painting a fascist vassal You know, and what I love about Thrawn as well is that he's a fucking fascist. All right, I don't love that he's a fascist, but I love that we're doing that thing. You know, that we've been doing a lot, but like Timothy kind of nailed into it a little bit earlier on. Like Thrawn is almost a sympathetic character, you know, in a lot of ways, but he's still a fucking Nazi. You know what I mean? Like he's not a good guy, not by any stretch of the imagination, and that's interesting to me. You know, like we've been doing that a lot. Like Daredevil did that with Fisk. You know, like you're like that poor guy. He grew up so terrible, and all that awful stuff that happened to him. With holy shit, he's fucking destroying somebody's head with a car door. And then you're like, oh yeah, no, he's evil. He's really not he's not a good guy. You know what I mean? Thrawn's kind of the same way. You know, Thrawn is one of these characters where you're like, you know, he rose up through the Empire, a notorious. Griffith did nothing wrong? I don't know. Who's Griffith? Wilson Fisk is who I'm talking about. Oh, is Griffith the name of the guy that he, like, you know, bangs his head? I can't remember. I didn't remember the guy's name. So at any rate, yeah, dude, yeah, it's exactly. He's just evil, you know? And Berserk. I don't know Berserk. I've been meaning to watch it. That's the one with the guy with the really big sword. And I've been asked to do that character a couple of times now. Like, there was back when I was doing commissions, which I haven't really been doing lately. I mean, I got a couple of commissions I'm going to be finishing up before Gen Con because I took the commissions, and that was like a couple of years ago. But I'm really not very good at it, and I don't. And honest, if I'm being perfectly honest, I don't really like doing commissions very much. Sometimes I do, you know, when I can really kind of get into it and whatnot. Yeah, exactly. And Thrawn's the same way. And so for me, Thrawn is like, you know, he's like this tale of like overcoming the racism of the Empire, but he's still a fucking fascist. It's like it almost makes him worse because he's like, it's like being black and supporting the KKK somehow. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you know what? I made my way through the shit, and now I'm part of the KKK. It's like, we don't really identify with those guys, but yet we don't really have a connection to things like the Empire and stuff like that. Like, everybody kind of romanticizes the Imperial thing. I mean, hell, we have the 501st and stuff like that, which are like people actually doing charity work, but they're dressed up as stormtroopers, which are legitimately space Nazis. You know what I mean? And so it's this kind of a thing. There's a weird disconnect that we have, that we just kind of run with, you know? Right? Exactly. And that's like the idea of Vader in when he tells Luke, he's like, you know, join me and together we can end this destructive conflict, you know? And how are they going to do that? By killing everybody that is opposing them, you know? And that's like that is always the thing that people who are violent go towards. You know, they're like, okay, well, if I do this, then they'll all be gone, and then I'm right, you know, and stuff like that. I feel right now, so it's an ideal father-son dynamic. It is, you know. I mean, sure, Dad wasn't around much. You know, he had a big workload and whatnot, and then like finally, you know, Dad's about to retire, you know, so he's finally starting to reconnect with his son, you know. I still really can't connect with his daughter because he just doesn't understand her, you know, or something. I guess I don't know. This is not a good. I wouldn't say he's idyllic as far as fathers go. Yeah, Exactly. You know, bastard. Who does he think he is? Dark Lord of the Sith, whatever. What does he mean? Alright. So like that's the kind of that's sort of those kind of dynamics that I'm really digging on lately in really just storytelling more than anything else. You know, I have some people that I know that are kind of fuzzy on the whole thing. They're like, I don't know, I don't feel like maybe we should give the bad guys a face. I'm like, I think that giving the bad guys a face makes them so much worse in a lot of ways, you know? Like it's almost more problematic and more evil to like, you know, have this bit of you that's good, that is not really, you know, that you're ignoring in order to do these terrible things that you're absolutely convinced are right, you know? It's interesting. And again, modern and, you know, not like the good guys always wear white and the bad guys always wear black sort of concept. Which has been being overturned for a while. It's just, here we are. Yeah. And again, you kind of it's one of those things also where like I come back to Game of Thrones, all right, and one of the things that took me away from Game of Thrones, one, we were watching it, we got to the third season, the Red Wedding, and I turned to my partner. I said, I'm out. I don't need this kind of negativity in my life, you know, and then just kind of left that thing behind entirely. Yeah. But yeah, but the other part of the coin is that, like, I always come back to Joffrey, the asshole kid, all right, and yes, he's an asshole and he's terrible. And at one point in time, of course, spoilers if you haven't watched this, he gets murdered, okay? He gets poisoned. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, because they read it earlier. You know, I dated a girl who, her name is Cersei. And actually, this is the first girl I ever fell in love with. And, yeah, that was, you know, like, and she desperately wanted me to read the George R. R. Martin books. It wasn't, her real name wasn't Cersei, but like it's always been kind of like, you know, in the con world, everybody's got a nickname and whatnot, and her nickname was Cersei, and she and I hit it off really well, and she's an awesome person. Cersei, if you're here, hi, how's it going? But yeah, you know, we're still friends to this day, and that's, I think, also an important dynamic. You know, kind of an odd one too. Like there's been a big kind of thing lately where, like, maybe it's not lately, maybe it's always been this way. Maybe I'm just weird. You know, luckily she didn't have a brother. You know. If she identified with that character and had a brother, he began to kind of worry. Now, granted, at the time, you know, I was oblivious. I had no idea how terrible the character was. You know, I was just like, I really like your name. Cersei's a beautiful name. You know, and, you know, I mean, granted, like, I come at it from a Greek history perspective, which is a woman who turned men into pigs and then fed them to others. So it was a thing. Like, Cersei's never been a name where you're like, oh, yeah. No, I can see what you're doing. You know, I really identify with you. Because, You know? Alright, let's give this some going. Do. That goes across there. This is going to go across here. And where does that one end? That one end way down here too? I think it does. Okay, so I can continue down this. I think it ends right there. Where does it end? Oh, no, it doesn't. It ends right here. Ha ha ha. Well, again, the good and the bad of all of this is that right here in these areas we've got this weird thing going on. And, you know, okay. Alright, good. It actually does just kind of come across here. Alright. Sorry. Yes. Just a little bit of a lip there that would have a little bit of shadow. A bump map? I don't know what a bump map is. I've never done that. I tell everybody that I don't know how to use Photoshop. I've just accidentally figured it all out over a period of, like, you know, a billion years of like, oh, well, that's cool. I wonder what this does. Oh, it's a 3D thing. Oh, yeah, no. No, I don't do any 3D work. Now, to be fair, I have a lot of friends that do, and here's a cool thing that's happening, actually, with the studio, and I'm going to go ahead and plug my new partners-ish. I guess not really partners, but a new studio that's, like, picking up things that I'm doing. So if you ever check them out, Mindworks Studios or Mindwork Studios. It's an Italian maquette company, so like a little miniature company and whatnot, and they make miniature things about yay big. But they do it of fine art. So like they have like Brahm and Donato Giancola and Frazetta and oh goodness, I can't remember all the artists that they have, but they have a lot of these major fine artists from the fantasy realm, and they just approached me at Luca this last year, and we've been talking about doing my fine artwork, so like my paintings and whatnot as maquettes as well, and it's super exciting for me because the fine art is obviously where my soul lives. This stuff I love doing, and it's really fun, but ideally I would just be painting my paintings. I think I probably would get tired of mindworkgames.net is. I'm going to copy this. Okay. And then I'm going to go back to Streamlabs. I'm going to put this in here. Control E. Huh. That's interesting. It doesn't let you. There you go. Hey, I have to join my chat. Oh, that name's unavailable, is it? Nigel Sod? Okay, then just log me in. Log into Twitch. Oh, hey. Can I log in as... Yeah. I wonder...
You know, it's all very complicated here, but like I constantly forget my passwords. It's just a thing. Twitch. Where's my password for Twitch? I'm actually going to post it from my personal Twitch, which I'm thinking I'm gonna start. Like porting these directly to my personal Twitch, and then it'll come over to the studio. And oh, okay, it's that one. All right, let's see. Is that right? Oh, need to that one. Missed it by this much. You know, Twitch's security protocols are, I think, probably one of the more annoying things in the world. And I don't know if I entirely understand why we think that your Twitch account is so much of a security risk that we have to go through, like, send an email verification with a number every damn time you log in. So, yes. Okay. I don't want to... No, I definitely... Alright. Yeah. I don't know. I have one password for most everything, but like every once in a while it makes me change passwords. So like sometimes they don't get updated to the newest password, and I have so many things that I don't really. Or is one password an actual account thing that allows you to just kind of log in with your fingerprint or something? Yeah. I always hate adding my phone number to things. Whatever. I don't need my phone number. Alright, so there you go. So that is the link to Mindwork Games. And with any luck, by the time that we get to I don't know. I actually don't know what their... Oh, okay, it's a password aggregator. So one of the things about password aggregators, though, is that they sometimes don't work when you go out of country. And that's a pain in the ass, because I travel a lot. So I just had my buddy Amul just went out of country, and his password aggregator did not work. Because it was, again, a security thing involving borders, I guess, or something. And again, you know, how important do you have to feel, I suppose, to believe that like somehow your life is a national security risk. All right. All right. Okay, this is still going on. I see what you mean, but that's not what I meant. Okay, so Kate, if you're still on here, I was not actually seeing your comments. They're supposed to port forward, but for some reason they don't. It's a little irritating, actually. So. A Post-its, yeah. You know, that's another option. Not a good one, but it is an option. You're not Kate, right? No, you're Maniskin. Yeah, because Kate Tryon, who is a collector of mine, posted on the other thing. It's just so weird. Watching people on two different things. Gonna have to work on that. So, hey, Sen. Yeah. One of the things I want to work on is this chat thing, because like I can't keep an eye on Facebook and Twitch. Yeah, why don't you come over here? Sorry, since he's in the other room. And we haven't installed the soundproofing yet, so I can yell at him through walls. It's very convenient right now. We need to kind of deal with this chat thing, because I'm getting people that are commenting on my Facebook, but it's not coming through to this chat. And I don't know what's going on there. So, there's that. You know. And I think that people are kind of going away on Facebook because they are unable to interact with me there. And then they're not coming.
Facebook isn't showing up in either one, or is it just showing up on one?
It's only showing the Facebook chat, or the Facebook, comments, or the comments aren't part of the chat. Is that?
No, comments are comments.
Comments are comments, but I think people are commenting on the video that's currently going. I didn't think you could do that.
Yeah, you can leave a comment. It's not going to show up in chat. There's a whole thing to click on to join the chat.
Yeah, they were just this whole thing, and I was like, oh. Okay. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're talking about. She's like, no, that's not what I meant. And I was like, I go back to it. I'm like, oh, I don't even know what I said.
Yeah, there's no way to really do that. That's why most people tell people to push them towards one thing or the other for communication.
I wasn't talking about her at all in this chat, and so I don't know. Maybe she was one of the other people or something like that. I'm not sure. What is going on? What happened? I got it. Late to my shot, but I'll do a proper Captain America post as soon as I'm finished here. So, within the hour. Okay, cool. Sweet.
Let me see something in the chat window real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So, everything should show up here.
Yeah.
This is the one.
Yeah, maybe we need to...
Oh, it's set. Everything should be coming through. I might have to look for a different chat widget.
Okay, that's fine. If you can kind of do that, and then we'll go from there. You know, maybe also get a better counter as well. You know, that kind of thing. All right, back to work.
Just curious stack of Post-its.
Yeah, right. Instead of, because the password aggregators that they have don't work outside of the United States. Yeah, so that's nice. Giving this guy a little bit of something down in there. Okay. Yeah. Oh.
I figure that this is almost done. I think. And then I can kind of go and have them, sort of working on a print file for it. And then I can do the proofs and whatnot, which are always fun. Proofs are never. I don't know that I've ever produced a piece of artwork and been like, yep, that's the one. No, most of the time it's like, that's, fuck, alright, let me change that. Like, the only things that, like, I don't have to do any alterations to, for the most part, are the paintings. But, I mean, technically speaking, I do have to do alterations. It's just alterations to the color that's currently there. Haha, that's right. Did I lose you, man, in a scary mask? I may have. Every time I think of a man in a scary mask, I always think of Portishead for some reason. Is it Portishead? I think it's Portishead. Or Guar. There was a band. Don't know how I really feel about that band. Not a huge Guar guy, but I did rather like some of it. Boom, 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 boom. All right. Is that you again, Mr. Scary Mask? Every time I'm utilizing these usernames and stuff like that, I was reminded of Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Where he's like, old woman, man. I'm not old. What? So I'm not old. I'm 37. Well, I couldn't just call you man. You could have called me Dennis. Didn't know you were called Dennis. Didn't bother asking either, did you? Alright, I'm going to do this thing where I'm going to insert some texture via shadow highlights. something in there. We're going to do this. We'll sort of show that like a thing. Alright. Give that a little bit of texture in there. Why not? You know? Alright. Alright. I think giving it a once over. I think that does the trick. Oh, nope. Got these. Oh, oops. Here. Oh, shadows. That is a thing that is difficult to get used to, is switching between, highlights and shadows. You're just switching your layers, Like when you're painting, it's not some... I guess there's kind of an intrinsic area of that. Where you're like, hey, I'm going to switch this shadow. Alright, I gotta do some repair work here on the highlight layer. Alright. It's giving it a little bit more there. Alright, so let's go back into highlights. So we want to get rid of highlights here entirely. Also across here. There. Get rid of those. Those. Also, this line, and this line, this line, and this line, and also here. I'm going to need to do some blending here because I'm going to have to, because I am taking those shadows out, or those highlights out, but I'm not intentionally trying to dull that kind of thing that's going on right here. So as much as I hate having to use the blender, and especially doing it as small as I need to, there. This area down here is an area that needs to be hit a little bit. Probably a stupid question. Yes, sometimes. Well, sometimes I do masks, sometimes I don't. Like in the idea of this, like as you can see, sort of down in this area right here, we have some overlap that's going into like the background area. What I'm going to end up doing is I'm pretty lax on those kinds of things because I will come into that model that's in here and I'll just select around it and then I'll just delete everything that's not inside of the model. So there are little things that I have in place. Otherwise, sometimes I'll utilize, masking layers. It's a little different to do it this way, because you kind of have to paint the mask in, and then you can kind of paint willy-nilly on top of something. So it's like 6 of one or half dozen another a lot of times. So, unless you're creating the mask out of like hard forms and stuff like that, which you can do as well, you know. But again, the reason why I paint the highlights and shadows onto these things instead of like doing it with like forms and whatnot is because for me, there's something to be said for having that little bit of a imperfect on the things that are very structured, that really kind of drives the pieces in a different direction from, you know, other pieces that are out there and whatnot. So there is that. Okay, we're here. We go here. Okay, we already did that. Oh, here, we already did that. I need to do this one yet still. There we are. Little extra opening there. Yeah, exactly. And again, it's just one of those things that I could probably learn to do it like as a mathematic sort of idea, but I don't know that I really want to. You know, I like the idea of having, you know, this extra sort of like connection via all of this. You know, and you can come in and you can add little things to kind of draw it out. And, you know, and while the connection between my hand and the screen is not as precise and it doesn't feel quite as good as when I'm doing just plain old art, like paintings and whatnot. You know, still, it's a thing, you know. Again, yeah, like that. Huh. Okay. So, all of that being said, that's where we have this. Oh, I got that bit in the center that I just did not pay attention to. All right, let me go back in there. Yeah, really should have been doing this the entire time. That. Now I have to come back in here and do a little bit of cleanup. Again, little things that I like. It's this ability to kind of come in and do these little adjustments. It is something that you can't really do as much with paint. I mean, you kind of can. This very much marries the idea of painting and drawing into one sort of thing, which has a certain kind of awesome appeal to it, you know? Alright, but, so now I've got the highlights and shadows. I'm going to put these guys into their own folder, and it's going to be called highlights and shadows. Alright, fair enough, like that. And I'm going to now turn this guy off and turn Thrawn back on. And now inside of here is where we're going to start doing our thing. That's 7th Fleet. So this is going to go right here, in between the 7th Fleet and... Oh. That's, well, yeah, that too. Alright, so the highlights and shadows are going to go between there and there. And now I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to duplicate this group. Which is going to give me a little bit more of a that kind of a feel. So, which do I like? Which I might actually like. Well, whatever. I can do that again later on. Duplicate. Let's go to free transform. Edit free transform. Alright. So, now I'm going to do this thing. And God damn it. 45 and 45. Let's see. Does that line up? That's the big question. No. Does not. Okay. Off is it? Let's give this. Let's make sure that's got a bounding box. Oh, God damn it. The overlap you mentioned earlier evokes 3.5 senses of spring. Also, art by Goodbrush. Okay. That's cool. You know what? Never mind. I screwed this up. Because I don't escape. I don't want that. I want to throw this away. Because now I'm going to do this. I'm going to select around the Star Destroyer. This is that thing that I was talking about before where I'm going to clean it up. So now I'm going to go into the highlights. I'm going to delete all the stuff that's outside of Thrawn's vessel, and I'm going to do the same thing with the shadows. And what that's going to do is that's just going to clear all of the stuff around it. I can now deselect this, and now it is perfectly just inside of the confines of the actual of that ship. So now I can what is in here? Oh, I see. That's the 7th Fleet logo. Oops. It's just part of everything. Okay. All right. So now, with all of this in place, like so, now I can do this thing where I focused in on this guy. Edit. Free transform. So 50%. It's going to get me down into the ballpark. Now, do this thing. And as you can see now, you got these nice crisp lines. Take this guy over. So yeah. One of these years, I'm going to figure out a way to overcome this remarkably shitty element of this process. Oh, not that. When you start getting into these ones that have like this massive amounts of like models that are in it, they just become problematic.
having some strangenesses with this. This should be working. Nice. That's fantastic. Yeah, no, I love that piece. Love that piece. There's the one guy that got it framed with this great, like, dome mat and whatnot. Oh, so good. So good.
think that maybe there's something weird happening. Which is fine. Would explain some things. First thing is first. Let's in shadows. Oh, what is this guy? Copy 2. No, I am highly. Well, here's the thing. I think that eventually the answer to that will be yes. But, and here's the big problem, is that those programs are skirting into a very legal gray area that is kind of shitty. We as artists, we put a lot of heart and soul into creating artwork. What this thing is doing is it's going out and it's literally scouring the internet for all images out there because of utilizing this like kind of legal contract loophole of like, oh, you want to use Google? Well, everything you put on there is free for us to use, which is some bullshit. Yeah. And it's all copywritten stuff that they're applying. Eventually, the laws are going to come into place, and they're going to require that those programs use either free for use stuff, or they're going to have to pay a royalty to the artists or the foundations of said artists to utilize their artwork within a thing. And it's all going to come down to having to have things like blockchains and stuff like that in place, which I really wasn't all that into NFTs until this AI shit started popping up. And now I'm like, okay, NFTs, maybe that's not a bad idea. Yeah, and so that's basically what's going to happen. So once that's all figured out, I don't so much... Or if they just say that you cannot make money off of anything that has been produced via AI. So like, as long as like the game company can't just type in and steal all of our artwork and then make a book without actually having to hire us to do the book and stuff like that, then, I don't have a problem, with that. Like, if you still have to hire me, that's fine. Then I can start utilizing, DALL-E as a reference material, and whatnot. I will, just in the same way that I create reference materials for any other painting that I do. So, yes. Eventually, I think the answer to that will be yes. But it will never be something that I utilize. What is that? Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's pretty terrible. But yeah, no, it's great. It's kind of like why I come back to that. It's the fuck AI symbol that yeah. Well, we're safe for now. I mean, the algorithms are just going to get better and better as time goes on. And they're also producing some pretty interesting stuff. And, like, the understanding of how to, like, it's kind of like Google. You know, like if I want to be, I'm really great at using Google. So I probably would be really good at putting in things that will produce art, as long as I understand the AI and how it works, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's been a thing. I'm not terribly happy with I don't know. I hate shitty people. You know, and that these people that are making these programs, they know damn well what they're doing, and they're just doing it anyways. They don't care. You know, they have no remorse for, like, the fact that they're, you know, that they're actually hurting a subset of people by. They're not actually invalidating the art. Okay, I think that there will be a swing, but there's going to be large swatches of artists, while the rest of the world figures out that what they want really isn't that, that are going to suffer and fail. And the world's going to be a shittier place for it because, you know, one of the few things you can't automate is creativity. Oh yeah. All of this technology is very awesome. It's highly fascinating stuff, and I'm super excited for it. But right now, it is problematic. Actually, to be fair, the thing that I'm a little bit up in the air about, and the part that is bothering me more than anything else, is the idea that, like, I don't. Like when we look back at this time in the future, it's gonna look like we're all being remarkably racist towards robots in you know, sapient machines and stuff like that. Because sapient machines are going to happen. They're not going to happen the way we think that they're going to happen, as all things are in technology. It's never going to happen the way you want it, the way you thought it was. It's not going to be like, you know, metal people with the ability to, like, calculate everything perfectly. Because I think that, yeah, exactly. We're you know, machines. You know, we're meat machines, and what makes us intelligent is, and what makes us emotional, what makes us able to have all of this connective tissue that, like, creates a world of creativity and stuff like that, is the ability to be flawed. You can't. Yeah, I know. But we're never going to have that. You know, we're never going to have that sort of an element. Aha! I think I figured it out. Edit, image, canvas size. Let's go a little bit taller here. Let's say 45. And we'll add it all to the top. Yep, there it was. All right. Found it. Wow. Why would you do that, man? Like, that's just, this is remarkably dumb. Ugh. Yeah, save. Ugh. I really hope this doesn't fuck everything up really bad. So, in my piece here, one of my elements was chopped off at the top, so it gave the tip of the Star Destroyer a little bit of a snub nose. But, like, on all the other models, it isn't, because I ported that model over into it. It's just that in this, for some reason, it was cut short. Don't know why. And I didn't notice it until just now. Yeah, but the thing is that if you calculate everything perfectly, you're not going to be
you're not going to be sapient. You know what I mean? Because being sapient is the act of basing everything on comparisons. You know, a being that knows everything and can perfectly calculate and recite everything is no longer capable of flaw. And flaw is what creates personality and, you know, stuff like that. It's just, there's a lot that goes into it. When I was studying in university, I studied genetics. And then I decided, and then I decided that I was taking all these other classes. I took a bunch of philosophy classes. I took all the art classes that you could take. And if I were actually smart, I would have, yeah, that's all going to have to move down. I would have just gone ahead and finished my art degree, finished my archaeology degree, and finished my my organic chemistry degree. And then I would have had... So anyways, I ended up graduating with a degree in logic and metaphysics, which is within the philosophy department, because I was going to go right back into grad school and finish and just do my genetics degree. But there was a period of time, there was a little blip there for a while where I was like, you know what I should do? I should be I should make artificial intelligences. You know? Like, because if I do it, at least I know that they'll be treated well. And that was like a big concern for me at the time. I think it might have actually been coinciding with The Matrix too. You know, where I was like, Jesus Christ, with this trope. There's this trope of like the evil robots and whatnot. And it's like, no, you know. Okay, here's the thing. Maybe don't keep slaves. You know, just it's a weird concept. It doesn't matter if they're made of metal. Just don't have a slave. But yeah, the idea of like things becoming so complicated that they have flaws. And so like we see a little bit of that within robots nowadays. Little things. I mean, it's not going to be, but their flaws are sort of giving us this notion of executive dysfunction, for instance. You know, like the Mars rover, for instance, will start prioritizing things. And eventually, it gets to a point where it's like, I don't know how to prioritize this correctly. And we don't really... Oop, I went too far. And so, like, it's like it gets like 7 or 8 different inputs, and it can't determine which one is the highest priority. So it just doesn't do anything. It just sits there confused, essentially. And that's kind of an interesting idea, you know. Like we have robots now that are like, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. Voila. That is almost there. Little nudge over. And voila. We are now back in business. But do have some repairs to make on both of these now. Alright, which is fine. Don't mind doing it. Yeah, that's it. I'm ADHD as hell. You know, executive dysfunction is real. You know, especially when you're getting ready for a show or you're doing something like that. It's like, Jesus, so much stuff going on. What do I start with?
Well, the answer to that is usually, doesn't matter. Whichever one you want. The only real downside to these streams for me, and honestly, I don't even know that I really consider it a downside, is that like I'm constantly chatting with people, and sometimes I don't get as much done as I probably would have had I not been chatting. But at the same time, whatever, fuck it, doesn't matter. At least I'm doing art, and like in the long run, I'm actually getting a lot done. But we end up with problems like this. Yeah, I really, really am glad that I figured this out. That is really shitty. Determine if I'm eating today. I don't know. It's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I need more espresso. I have to go to the store at least tonight. Espresso. I could just order it online and have it shipped here. Yeah? Sorry. So I'm going to end up setting... Yeah, I know. Alright, I'm going to set up my my phone. It's just nothing but R2 noises. And it's going to make noises that are, I understand. But other people don't. I feel like my computer has executive dysfunction. Like, seriously, why are you slowing down? I wonder if this is like a Windows thing. They have this new, they have Windows 11. I'm still on Windows 10. But, I kind of have to be because I'm running Xeon processors, and they're like, oh, those are too old. Like, they're literally more, they're more powerful and they used to do at least exactly what I wanted in a better way than most of the processors did. Okay. What is that? What is it? What is it? Really? Will you just close, for fuck's sake? Go away. There we go. This is ridiculous. Ooh, I need to work on that cog. It's got some elements going on there that I don't love. No. Doing? Why are you erasing shit? Now you're just pissing me off. What we got here? That's where we end. Let's do this. Whatever. I am not fucking with that anymore. Okay, let's do this. Highlight. Here. Seriously gotten to that point? Shiny, steely point. And then giving this guy what it needs. The very center. And then giving it the cap off at the end. There we go. I'm going to give this the thing down, and that thing down. So now we go back into shadows, flip that around. There we go. Und so weiter. Here. Give this a bit of a thing too. Okay. There we are. All right. Like that. I think that looks good. All right, now let's go into here. All right. I'm just going to do this. Okay, kind of like that. Kind of gives them a little bit of a bump. Do you need to go into here though? Let's reduce the flow of the eraser by that. What? No, that's not what I meant. Then reduce the opacity of the eraser. I'm gonna get rid of some of this here in the center. Then let's go back here. Shadows. Let's duplicate that layer. Duplicate that group. I don't want to delete it. I said duplicate. Or did I say delete? I said delete. Duplicate. What are you talking about? Delete. think that might be a bit on the correct side. Do. Ba. Legitimately don't know what's going on here.
Hey, Sam.
No, it's not over there. Do. Gonna end up shutting this guy down whenever I'm done saving this and then reopening it. Or see if I can't just clear the cache. In here. I've been debating getting a larger hard drive, and I think that maybe it's not a bad idea because I think I just need more swap space. And I'm sure that I'm filling up my hard drive as we speak rather intensely with all of these videos. Alright. What was that? It's so cheesy. Alright. Okay. Okay, I think we're saved now. Closing. Alright. Do. And edit. Let's go to preferences. Performance. Let Photoshop use a lot of the RAM. Because honestly, graphics processor, there's that. Multi-thread compositing. Scratch discs. All of them. Whoa. Terabyte of space. I'm shutting down Photoshop. That's my Discord. What's going on here? And then I'll reopen Photoshop. Basically, all that does is it clears out the cache, so that I don't have to worry about things getting too slow. Which is a bit of an inevitability. Hello, third person. Welcome to the stream. Wait a time. Okay. While that's opening, almost there. Almost there. Stay on target. Tales from family resident. Okay. Oh yeah. Cool. I'm not entirely certain. Why is this not showing? Let's duplicate the group. Oh, God damn it. Why do I keep on hitting delete? Duplicate group. Huh. goes through. Okay, now I'm confused. Huh. Really? Not sure. Okay. That's why. Haha. I see now. Alright, let's do this then. Really? Is that what's going on here? Alright, well, let's walk down the thing. Alright, so that's that. That is in place on that one. Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's going on? How's this going? Posted. Edited slightly. Okay. Let me take a look on Facebook, see what is going on here. Okay, mantle. Alright, sweet. Very cool. I'm assuming that also went up on Instagram. Let's take a look. Cool. That's nice. Oh, that's nice. Very cool. Alright, sweet. Alright. Oh. Alright. Done and done. Let's kind of pull out here. And guys, we're kind of verging in, like we're almost there. Almost there. This is going to be exciting. I'm very excited. I'm excited. Are you excited? I'm so excited. Alright. Fourth copy. Okay. That's nice. We match up now. Alright. Edit. Free transform. I'm going to move it over here to this area. Make it smaller. Zoom in on this location. Make sure that it is overlaid in the correct way. Does, however, make a lot of sense why I couldn't figure out the other shit. I was like, why is this not going together quite right? Yeah, so if anybody's going to WonderCon in a couple weeks, I will be there. And all of these new pieces will be there as well, as you might imagine. Rather exciting,
I do say so myself. Okay. So, alright. And here's a thing that I keep on forgetting to do. You're not being very responsive, you know this, right? You're a terrible computer. Oh, that's why. It's 12%. It's like, why the hell is that not working? It's not that. It's that it was a 12% opacity, which is not what I was hoping for. Now we are at 60-some% opacity. 49% flow. Let's go 100% flow. And let's do 76%. Alright. And give that a little. Ooh. That's really. Dumb. It was modifying the wrong area. Do. Well. Alright. Alright. Do this here. Give that a bit of a go. Gonna do this. Here's the problem. This is my issue. Are you done? Are we doing the thing? This is the problem. Only 17% opacity. And really, I just want to fucking get rid of it. Like that. Exactly. Just like that. We're verging in on the slow. Gonna need to free up some space on the hard drive as well. Kind of get these guys maneuvered over and then turned the fuck off and not on my hard drive. Just I only have 4 more of those to go. 3 more. 3 more? 2 more. I only have 2 more of those to go. Oh, that's not too bad. Not too shabby. I must select this. Now I must do this. I shall do this first. Can I get rid of that little guy there too? Oh, you're kidding me. Why you gotta be a dick? And what? Oh, oils. Oh, here's the thing. Let's go back on this one. Let's set the load of this down to like that much. What does that do? That doesn't. No. Alright. Doesn't affect a goddamn thing. And go here. Gonna need to start playing with the oil section, because really what I'm trying to do is get into this idea of being able to paint something on and then do some mixing and whatnot. The problem is that it's not an ideal situation. I'm gonna need to have like lists of like things that I'm working with. I mean, it's gonna be. I think it'll work out. It's just it's a little weird. That's all. That is definitely not what I wanted. There we go. This is what I want. That is not done. Interesting. Of course, the last one, you know. It's gotta be the pain in the ass. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that we are at a point where I can say, I think, hey, let's go, man. So, I'm working on Thrawn's 7th Fleet. Right now. Let me pull out so you guys can see. So this is pretty much the piece as it stands. I think I'm actually right about finished. You just sort of showed up and now I'm done. We could do. Yeah, I just got all the highlights and shadows put in place. And yeah, about to do a thing. Save this puppy. I think I'm done. Basically, now it all comes down to I'll take it, I'll put it back up there, Troy will print off a copy of it in a somewhat larger format. Well, here's the thing. I'm glad that I'm not in the snow, but I do miss you. You know. It is not snowing here, but it is cold as balls outside. So that's bad. I don't like that. Hey, Sam.
Huh?
Are you doing lunch?
I just came back from lunch.
Oh. All right. So that answers that question. I'm not eating today. Oh yeah, very much so. I don't really like the cold at all. I'm a tropical animal. So, you know, there are very few Nigels that are okay with snow. The thing is that hilariously, there's only like 7,000 or 6,000 of us on the planet, so there's that. It's a very uncommon name. Alright, let me get rid of this blue line here. Let's see how she looks. I think it looks good. Gotta get rid of that now, but yeah. I think it looks good. Kind of able to take a look at it now. What in the world is going on? Alright. So, guys, I think that this is where I'm going to say goodbye for now. I'm going to be back in about... I'm going to run out and grab lunch and probably some extra espresso. And I will be back. Once I get back, I will be working on the Ghost, I believe, next. So I can get these 3 pieces sort of put together. I'm actually going to probably, well, I don't know. Maybe I'll do it on here as well. I have to like do the ghost symbol, so up as a piece, kind of like I did the Seventh Fleet symbol down here, and then the Mandalorian symbol as well. So the Mandalorian piece that I just did has the Mandalorian crest in it, the mythosaur, and again, I just wish they would have given it a name, like Tachyosaur or something. They could even make it cheesy, but just don't mythosaur. I mean, it's a myth. Mythos. I mean, it's literally the only thing worse is unobtainium. You know. And I've said this many times, but I'll say it again. I'll do it. All right, guys. So this is now saved. All right, cool. Well, listen, I'm going to pop off, like I said, and I'm going to grab some lunch. I'm going to make these print files, and then I will be back on probably in about an hour or two to start the ghost stuff, and hopefully then I can. Or I mean, this ghost has already been started, but it'll be being streamed as VCX 100. So I will talk to you guys shortly. Mark, it was great seeing you. Hopefully you'll be able to pop on later in the stream. Just send me a message as well. All right, talk to you later, man. All right, bye.